What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this is another one of those end of the year evaluations. Now this is my 15 of my favorite pickups this year. Now this excludes new release stuff from 2024. This excludes anything that was sent to me. This is all stuff that I bought randomly that are some of my absolute favorite pickups of the year that I just rave about every time I talk about them. I melt pretty much every time I smell them. We've got designer, we've got niche, we've got some affordable stuff, but I am literally still just putting this 15 collection together. Got really excited because I can't wait to talk about these. I've even got something that I've paid high resale markup that's discontinued that I really just had to have. Super happy to get. So let's dive into these 15. Stay tuned. Starting with one that a lot of people that watch this channel that are like, oh, since you love Iris, you would love this fragrance. You really should get this fragrance. It kept getting said. Looked at the notes. I was like, yeah. Twin Fragrance Buy got it in stock. CH Pasion came into my collection, and it is magnificent. Of course, it's got a little bit of sweetness, but it's a smoky, woodsy Iris fragrance. I mean, stunning. A little bit of spice, absolutely stunning. If you're a fan of designer Iris fragrances, this is up there. This is upper tiers type of stuff. It's not just that lipstick makeup smell. It is on the powdery side because it's based around the designer fantasy Iris note, you know, a synthetic Iris. So it doesn't have that earthiness to it, but that beautiful powdery tone. Again, the supporting notes here make it a more masculine type of Iris, woods and spices. There's just the right amount of sweetness to where it doesn't really mesh with stuff like Valentino Uomo Intense, Bleu Noir Parfum, what else? Dior Homme Intense. Like, those are definitely a bit sweeter than something like this. This has more of a masculine edge, I believe. Great performance. It's in that $80-ish range when you can find it in stock. This is hands down one of the best I've smelled from Carolina Herrera. I picked up a lot of Carolina Herrera stuff this year. There's actually another fragrance from Carolina Herrera that's in this video. So I've been digging her this year. What can I say? CH Pasion is amazing. Now this fragrance, I literally, when we did a live stream unboxing and first impression, I had to fight back saying 10 out of 10. I had to literally fight it because I really try to keep those as sacred as I possibly can. So many people throw a 10 out of 10 on every damn fragrance they like, and I try to be different. I feel like the 10 out of 10 really should be perfect for the person, and I've only given 2. And just because they're 10s for me don't mean they're 10s for you. 10 out of 10 is 100% perfect for me. And this, oh my God, it's so close to perfect in my opinion. It's Nishane's Safran Colognise. Oh my damn, is this so good. Under $100 you can get this one. It's the most expensive of the 3, which I did get all 3. You have the base DNA for Nishane Colognise, that earthy green vetiver smell is here, but up top, bright citron. The saffron gives it this warm spice. I call it a warm weather leather. It rhymes. It rolls off the tongue well because it's a lot of suede leather, spicy saffron, fiery hot, soft, woody, earthy tone as it dries, but bright, mouth-watering, refreshing citrus. This is a leather fragrance to wear in the summer, but it's got enough depth to it, and it's a little bit, it's not super dense. It's still a bright, fresh fragrance. But there's enough density here in the base of this fragrance that if you want a odd combination of warm and fresh in the cooler weather, this will totally do it. I love this fragrance. This is one of the absolute best fragrances I've smelled this year. One of my favorite pickups. That's why it's in this video. I might have been able to put this at number 1 if I would have ranked them. I mean, this is just the 15. They're not in a particular order, but I mean, this would have been, if I would have ranked it, it would have been 1 or maybe 2, but probably 1. It's that good. Highly encourage you checking this one out, especially if you're a fan of saffron. It doesn't really make it metallic, and if anything, it'll help that leather accord, but the main thing it does is make that citrus kind of fiery hot. It is so good. It's Nishane's Safran Colognise. Now, we mentioned it already when we were talking about CH Pasion. Valentino Uomo Intense, I finally got around to getting a bottle, and I'm glad I didn't get the old style bottle before the studded collar. The old style lacks the nutmeg spice that this one brings to the forefront. I prefer this to the old formula of Valentino Uomo Intense. The old formula was much more Dior Homme Intense, whereas this has the spice that Dior Homme Intense does not. I prefer this. Of all the fragrances that people relate to Dior Homme Intense, I seem to like all of them better than Dior Homme Intense. I don't know why. This one's the same case. You get vanilla, you get leather. Of course, you get that powdered iris, but the nutmeg spice here, a little bit of a dry, woody, spicy facet is added to an already beautiful DNA. Magic. For any of you that like designer iris fragrances, pure, unadulterated magic in a bottle. So glad to finally have added this to the collection. Valentino Uomo Intense. I wore this a few days ago. I pulled it from the pile for the weekly rotation so we could talk about it. I need to remember to put it back in its lineup. I got a lot of Montales this year. I got a lot of Manceras this year. The one that stood tall for me, that's not a new release, because I got some new release Manceras that are going to be in a different video. This has been on the bucket list for a while, and I think this is better than Baccarat Rouge 540. It has Baccarat Rouge 540's sweetness. People relate it to Baccarat Rouge 540. But Montale's Sensual Instinct is so freaking good. It's a thick, rich, deep rose patchouli that has some BR 540 DNA. Not everybody's going to like this. Not everybody's going to get this kind of emotional body language that you just saw. Anytime you see this shit, it's not an act. It's just me. I'm an emotional guy. What can I say? And I'm very animated. And I'm very passionate. And this fragrance, okay, if you like rose or patchouli, you're probably going to like this. If you like Baccarat Rouge 540 and want to try a new twist, you're probably going to like this. It's not a powder bomb. The rose is very thick. There is some powderiness to it. I mean, it's inevitable with a rose-dominant fragrance. But there's just as much dirty, earthy, dark patchouli that really grounds this stuff and gives it serious depth. I mean, it's such a deep fragrance. Pierre Montale's typical crazy performance for the Montale line. This is just one of my favorite pickups of the year. It's not even close. Sensual Instinct. Now, this was kind of a happy accident. So, one of my favorite releases for this year for niche is going to be Gritti Mango Oud. Just to give you a heads up. That fragrance, I got that in Supernova. They're both amazing, first and foremost. So, I buy a lot from Fragrance Buy. I collaborate with Fragrance Buy, and I spend a shitload of money on Fragrance Buy. Year in and year out, month to month. I just do. I saw this for $95. And I was like, what the hell? I looked at the notes. I saw people were comparing it to Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And I was like, You know, I've always put off getting that. I've been saying for 2 years straight, I'm finally going to get a bottle. So let me buy it. It's a niche brand. I love two of the fragrances I already have from them. I'm going to roll the dice on this. So I got Gritti Rebellion. And this is, and I'm not joking here, a slightly greener Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme with better quality oils. It's a niche fragrance. Better buy than getting a 100 milliliter bottle of Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Same effect, same profile, slightly added fresh greens like cypress, I believe, is the main green note that's enhanced and added here to Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme's DNA. Really good performance. It's everything you get from Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme. It's everything you get from that one, plus a little bit of greenery and better quality. $95. When in stock. I'll have it linked where I got it. I don't know if it's currently in stock. I didn't check before, but it makes it one of my favorite pickups of the year. It accomplished a few things. It expanded this house for me. It built even more trust for me in what they do, because I'm now 3 for 3 on just phenomenal offerings from this house. Because the first two were sent to me. I bought this one. And I continue to want to explore more now. Now, if you have Chanel L'Homme Sport Extreme, super redundant. Don't buy this. Don't. It's too redundant. I mean, it's like wildly redundant. But if you don't have Chanel L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme, this is a better buy. Gritti Rebellion. We got to have a nice, cheap, affordable blue here that several people in my audience on my live stream turned me on to. I forgot specifically who. I'm sure if you see this, you will take your credit in the comments, and you absolutely should. Thank you, because I do love it. What made me intrigued, a lot of you know Justin Copeland here on YouTube, very dear friend of mine. He's hard to please. He's not a blue fragrance guy. He's got a basic bro series when it comes to blue fragrances and designers and stuff. Like, I give him a hard time all the time. He's hard to please. He's not hard to please, harder to impress. He wants something more special. So when I was told Justin's a fan of this one, I went, really, let me see. Sure enough, he is. It'd be like $36 for Boucheron Singulier. Singulier, I believe is how you pronounce it. Picture a much greener, spicier Dylan Blue. Very similar, but spicy green. Makes it more of a fougere because of that spicy green element than all the blue fragrances they classify as aromatic fougères. It's got more of an old school masculine aromatic barbershop aromatic fougere vibe to it with that modern blue synthetic twist. This is such a great fragrance to get under $40. Mid-range performance in that 6 to 8 hour longevity range for me. I mean, stout for a good hour and a half, really, really stout. You know, moderate sprays, anywhere from 4 to, let's say 4 to 8 sprays. It's going to be well pronounced. People are going to smell you. It's just really good. Highly versatile, super cheap. I paid like $36. And it's really good. And the thing for me, like, I would have gave it a shot anyway, because I love blue fragrances. But when I was told Justin even likes it, I was like, what? My favorite blue fragrance hater? What? He likes it? Yeah, shocking. I hope he sees this. He's going to laugh his ass off if he sees this. I'm going to text him later. Hey, man, talked about you in the video. But if you haven't checked this out and you want a really good cheapie and you like blues, I like it so much it's in my favorite pickups of the year video. Here it is. Boucheron Singulier. Now, this next one is the most expensive fragrance I've ever paid for. I don't spend over $300 on bottles. I just don't. Everything I have that costs over $300 has been sent to me. I'm not going to sit here and act like it hasn't. I always state when they are. But given the situation, I was in Tampa for the Royal Rumble with the Nigerian giant Omos and the artist formerly known as the Fragrance Apprentice. And I had such a wonderful experience at Louis Vuitton at the mall over there. The store manager actually watches the channel. Shout outs to Rooston if you see this. So we got a wonderful experience. I was not expecting that. I am nobody. I don't think I'm anybody, but he treated me like I was, and we had a great time. And it was like, you know, I've been wanting Pacific Chill, and if I was ever going to get it, it's now from them. They provided such a great experience. So here we go. It's been a little over, it was like $330 or something like that after tax. Got my initials engraved in it and everything. This was the standout of the Louis Vuitton fragrances for me. I want Orage. Of course, I like L'Immensité. I'm not an imagination guy like all of you are. It's good, but not to where I'd want to buy it. Ombre Nomade, beautiful fragrance. Just not the most wearable thing for me. But this tropical apricot citron fruity fragrance is so amazing. So good that coupled with a one-of-a-kind experience at Louis Vuitton that you would think somebody like me, beanie and a baggy hoodie and everything, rolling in that MF. I got an experience I never thought I would get. So you mix all of that together, you got a perfect storm for me to drop over $300 on a bottle. And that's exactly what the hell happened. And I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't want it. I didn't buy it just because. It was like, if I was ever going to do it. Because you can't get these at discounters. So good. If you've never tried it, it's worth trying. Just know, really expensive. But I'm glad to have it. Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. Now, this next one I wrote off for the longest time as, it's probably just a re-release of the Parfum edition, the black bottle I've been having, where it's the original Boss de Scent, plus some Orris at the top that fades quick. Boy, was I wrong about Boss de Scent Le Parfum. This is far superior. It's not quite the same type of iris. You get a lot of leather here. It's a slight bit earthy. You still get that fruity Menenka. This is so good. Such an underrated fragrance in this line because the line's full of bangers. I've said it before, Pure Accord, the most underwhelming release of the bunch, is not a bad fragrance. The problem is it's surrounded by just awesome flankers, and this is a prime example of it. The Absolute, Private Accord, Magnetic, the new Elixir, they're all just amazing. It overshadows some of the flankers that are actually pretty good, because Pure Accord came out to like type reviews a couple years ago, and I stayed away from it for so long, and you know, shame on me. It's actually a pretty good fragrance, but I understand why it got that, because it's like everything else around it in its line is a better fragrance. They're just so impressive. This line is so impressive. Hugo Boss has been doing really good work in this line and in the Boss Bottled line in the last couple of years. And stuff like this gets overshadowed. Again, we got another Iris fragrance that I encourage you to absolutely check out. Ended up being one of my favorite pickups of the year. Boss de Scent Le Parfum. Now, all but the newest one, Ice whatever, the new flanker, I bought all of them. Even the gold edition that's just the special edition bottle. So I have 2 bottles of Bad Boy EDT, basically. So I bought literally almost the entire Bad Boy line this year. Goes back to what I was talking about with Carolina Herrera earlier. And this is another fragrance where a lot of people were on me. You love blues. I don't know how you don't have this. And it turns out it's my favorite one. Bad Boy Cobalt. I love Bad Boy Cobalt so freaking much. It's unbelievable. It reminds me of the top of Invictus Platinum with the dry down of Coach for Men. Plus the plum is juicy. But it's very much a blue fragrance. The color scheme on the bottle, very fitting. It's very much a blue fragrance. Synthetic, woody, musky fragrance with some fruitiness up top. Chemically synthetic up close, but out in the air, beautiful. Compliment getter. Amazing versatility. I love this fragrance. Easy to go anosmic to. Nose fatigue will bite you with this one. But so good. So good. Some people would pick the Elixir over it. And for the cooler weather, absolutely the Elixir is the better route. But in the warmer climate, it's a great everyday wear. It's this. I've raved about this since I've got it. It's been featured in many videos since I've got it this year. And it's hands down one of my favorite pickups of 2024. It's Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy Cobalt. Now, I've grabbed several bottles from Creed this year. Costco ran a sale a few times, right around $100, $150 for some 100 mLs. That's where I grabbed this one. I grabbed Viking Cologne this year. I've grabbed Himalaya this year. Did I grab any other ones? I know I grabbed those 2 for sure. I mean, besides the one we're about to talk about. I've grabbed 3 that I know, yeah. So I bought 3 Creeds this year. And the one I was most excited to get, because I've been through a few decants. I recently got a 10 ml. And I was like, that'll hold me off for a longer time. But $150, I couldn't pass it. Creed Original Vetiver. And then on top of that, see that black cap, how good that looks? So the newer ones, before this new bottle change they're doing, comes with the silver metal caps. And I was like, it looks nice, but it looks better with the black cap. Miss Heather, shout outs to Miss Heather. She's the GOAT. Any of you that watch Dedrick's channel on a regular basis, you know Miss Heather. She heard that. She's a Creed rep. She sent me a black metal cap. Doesn't that look better? So shout outs to Miss Heather. Miss Heather is the GOAT. So any of you that haven't tried Original Vetiver, you're missing out. Yes, you can get Mugler, Cologne come together, which I have as well. And it's a very similar experience, but the difference here, of course, the quality's better here with Creed, but on top of that, the Vetiver, as it dries, has a little bit of more earthiness and provides a little bit more elegance to the fragrance. Fresh citric green, very clean and soapy, touch of florals. I believe there's neroli in here that gives a little touch of that soapy white floral feel. This is so good. This is so good. I've only worn it, twice since I got it. That's why the bottle is just so full. But I'm so glad to have added it to my collection. I really am. So much so that it's being featured here. Creed's Original Vetiver. I paid way too much for this fragrance. I paid $220 before tax. And then after I bought it, the seller had like 4 bottles. When he got down to 3, I checked a few days later, he raised the price to $305. So I guess I bought it. He's like, oh, there's interest. Let me crank the price up. Dick. I hope you see this. What asshole reseller. I hate when people do that. It's horrible. That's why people hate resellers. Right there. But I had to have it. I have a 10 ml that's got like 2 or 3 ml left of the Blue Juice, the newest formula before it got discontinued. But I now have Le Male Essence de Parfum, the old purple juice with the gold atomizer. The leather is deeper and richer in this one. This is one where, yeah, there was a serious noticeable difference in the bottle the fragrance reformulation. But I love this. Spiced cardamom, a little powdery, beautiful leather. Great date night fragrance. I strictly wear it to dinner here and there. I'll probably never go through the bottle, but I'm so happy to have it. I definitely way overpaid. Rarely, but sometimes, will I play the resale game on something discontinued if I want it badly enough. This was the case. It's like it's not getting cheaper. The longer I wait, the worse it's going to be. And lo and behold, I bought this one. Dude had 3 bottles left and cranked up the price another $85. I hope he never sells them. I hope you see this. I hope you never sell them, asshole. Unreal with people. Look, I get charging a premium for something discontinued, but man, that's gouging, huh? Somebody bought it, so you cranked it up just in case. Horrible. Horrible. Just horrible. I get making a buck, but damn, dude. And look, I justified it here for $220. Value is what you put on something. Some people could see this at $1,000 and be like, I just have to have it. Okay, I'm willing to pay that. And some people would be like, oh my God, are they crazy? Never, ever, ever would I do that. So again, value is what you place on it. Some of you wouldn't have paid $220 for this. Some of you totally get it and have done worse. So, but moral of the story is it's 100% something that wasn't on the definitely going to happen this year list of fragrances to pick up, but lo and behold, it happened, and I'm really happy that it did, because if you never smelled this, you might be missing out. And it's not an easy thing to get a hold of, so look, you don't have to have it. But for me, I had to. Le Male Essence de Parfum. So I've been procrastinating getting a bottle for years now. Some of you have seen my full review on this, where at the end of the video, we were visiting my in-laws in Colorado before we moved to Colorado, and I was doing some reviews on the selfie stick, walking around the neighborhood while we were visiting. I dropped my decan at the end, and it broke. It was like 4.5 years ago. Roughly. And I finally got around to getting it. Parfums de Marly Herrera. I've been so happy to have this. I wore it about 2 weeks ago. Resinous, sweet, earthy, a little spiced, touch of smoke. One of the best tobacco fragrances on the market. Has been for a long time. 75 ml is more than enough for me. This is a must sample fragrance if you like tobacco fragrances. It always has been. It's so easy to like, so versatile for being a tobacco fragrance. Cooler weather, evenings out, daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. Beautiful stuff. Bucket list thing, finally stopped procrastinating, got around and bought it. I'll, again, never go through the 75 ml, but I will wear it on occasion. Like I said, I just recently wore it, and it'll be in the rotation again before this month ends. Happy to have it. Parfums de Marly Herrera. A cheapie. I paid like $36 for a 4.2 ounce tester. Just has a sticker on the box, basically what it amounted to. But John Varvatos, XX Indigo. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a twist on Dylan Blue. It's got this Himalayan poppy floral note with some greens. This spiced, almost peppered-like green smell, but it's still airy and fresh without being some citrus bomb. This is like different for a blue. It doesn't smell like everything else. Like I'm kind of reaching saying kind of like Dylan Blue plus these other elements. Because as soon as I start naming all these things, it's like that's not Dylan Blue. It's a reach because I'm trying to paint some kind of picture here for those that haven't smelled it. I love it. I love it. John Varvatos continues to drop gems when it comes to their men's fragrance line. That's just how I feel. I grabbed 3 from the brand this year, and this was hands down my favorite. Straight up one of the best cheapie pickups of the year for me. Had to be featured. If you haven't tried it, you really should. It's about a 6-hour fragrance, 6-7 hours. Nothing special in performance, as most of them are not from the house. But scent profile is really good. It's blue that doesn't smell like all the blues. John Varvatos, XX Indigo. Slightly aquatic, but dead ringer for Bleu de Chanel EDP with, I feel, better quality ingredients. For 70, 80 bucks range, you can get this, I believe it's 50 ml. Yeah. Loewe 7 Cobalt. It's good stuff. It's more affordable than getting Bleu de Chanel. I think it's a little bit better than getting Bleu de Chanel, but if you have Bleu de Chanel EDP, super redundant. Don't get it. I don't have Bleu de Chanel EDP. I have the Parfum. Loud and proud. Love the Parfum. And this is just so good. I did get Nishane's De Zero, which is more of a twist on Bleu de Chanel EDP. It's dry and full of freshwater aquatics, dry woods, all this. That's different. That's going to be in my favorite niche releases of the year because that's the 2024 release. But this, quintessential type of stuff here for you blue fragrance lovers. This is really good. This is something you can just wear every single day. If you just want one good quality fragrance that has high level versatility, Loewe 7 Cobalt is the one you're looking for. Last but not least, I picked up a few from this brand. I sampled even more on top of that from a discovery set. Shout outs to Hoffman for sending that my way. But this was on the bucket list for a while. Then I sampled it in that discovery set and I was like, yeah, I need a bottle of that. Ital Libre d'Orange, You, or Someone Like You. Fresh green, citric, a little floral and woodsy. Gets earthy as it dries. More florals than you may think. Pretty hefty white floral note. So good though. One of their best. I think one of their best fragrances. And I grabbed others. I grabbed Ghost in the Shell. I think I grabbed one more. I think I grabbed 3 bottles from Ital Libre d'Orange this year, but this is the most versatile of the bunch. Ghost in the Shell is a bunch of aroma molecules. It's very synthetic. It's a good layering fragrance for those of you that like to layer. This is just so good. Fresh springtime in a bottle type of stuff. Offers a little bit of class and elegance at the same time. Good quality ingredients. This one's not loaded down with a synthetic smell. It's just really good stuff. A big time favorite from the house for a lot of people. A lot of you know exactly where I'm coming from with this fragrance. Ital Libre d'Orange, You, or Someone Like You. Well, that was 15 of my absolute favorite pickups this year that are not new releases. Wide variety of price points. We got affordable stuff. We've got discontinued where I paid too much, really. Fragrances on here. We got niche. We got all kinds of stuff. Some banger deals where I just had to do it with some of the, like $150 for Creed Original Vetiver. Gamma, you wouldn't do that? I'll buy any Creed for $150, 100 ml. Come on now. Legit stuff? Yeah, count me in. So definitely some really good stuff. Be on the lookout for more of these end of the year evaluation videos throughout December. It's my favorite time of year to make this type of content. These particular lists are personal favorites because it's a year-end review on how the year-end fragrance was for me. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Catch you on the next one.